To start, I now request Dr. Samaya Humne and Sri Milan Dakate to escort the dignitaries, Dr. A.K. Chatterjee, Dr. Rasik Ravindra, Sri Ganshayam Sharma, Dr. S. Raju, and Ms. Shushma Rawat on the dais. We will now begin the session. I request Dr. Sumit Humne to welcome our guest of honor, Dr. Rasik Ravindra, by floral bouquet and memento. Now I request Dr. P.K. Gupta to present floral bouquet and memento to our guest of honor, Sri Ganshayam Sharma. I now request Dr. Anjan Chatterjee to present and welcome our guest of honor, Dr. S. Raju, with a floral bouquet and memento. Dr. Samaya Humne to welcome our chief guest, Ms. Shushma Rawat, with floral bouquet and memento. I now request Dr. Vijay Mukul to welcome Dr. A.K. Chatterjee by floral bouquet and memento. Professor A.M. Pofare to facilitate Dr. P.B. Sarolkar, Secretary GTS, with memento. For felicitation of Sri Milan Dakate, Organizing Secretary, with memento. I request Sri D.M. Kolte to facilitate Dr. Samaya Humne, Organizing Secretary, with memento. I request Dr. Rajiv Nigam sir to come up on the dais to facilitate Dr. Samaya Humne, Organizing Secretary, with memento. Now I request all the dignitaries on the dais to light the lamp and inaugurate the seminar. I now request Dr. Samaya Humne for the introductory address.
Thank you, Zaino. Esteemed dignitaries, respected guests, distinguished speakers, and dear participants, a very warm morning to one and all. I stand before you today humbled and honored as the organizing secretary of this prestigious national seminar on conventional renewable energy sources and climate change perspective. It is an occasion of great significance as we gather here to address one of the most pressing challenges of our time, the need for sustainable energy solutions in the face of changing climate. As we look around, we cannot ignore the signs of a planet in distress. Our weather patterns are becoming increasingly erratic with extreme storms, prolonged droughts, and rising temperatures. Glaciers are melting, sea levels are rising, and biodiversity is under threat. These are not isolated incidents, but interconnected consequences of human actions too. The time for action is now. We must come together as a nation and as a global community to chart a sustainable path forward. Our reliance on conventional energy sources has been a major contributor to climate change, and it is imperative that we transition to renewable sources in order to mitigate its effects. Renewable energy sources hold the key to a sustainable future. They offer us the opportunity to harness the power of nature without depleting finite resources or climate change. Wind, solar, hydro, and geothermal energy are just a few examples of the abundant sources we have at our disposal. By investing in research, development, and implementation of these technologies, we can create a cleaner and more prosperous world for future generations. This seminar serves as a platform for knowledge exchange and collaboration. We have gathered experts from various fields, each with their unique perspectives and experiences. It is through these diverse voices that we will gain insights and solutions that can drive meaningful change. We must also acknowledge that addressing climate change requires a collective effort. Government agencies, academia, industry leaders, and civil society must work hand in hand to achieve our goals. This seminar provides an opportunity for all stakeholders to engage in constructive dialogue, foster partnership, and create a roadmap for sustainable future. Education and awareness are vital components of our journey towards a greener planet. We must strive to empower individuals with knowledge about renewable energy sources and climate change. By fostering a sense of responsibility and promoting sustainable practices in our daily lives, we can make a tangible difference. I urge each and every one of you to make the most of this seminar, engage in discussions, ask questions, challenge assumptions, and be open to new ideas. Let us seize this opportunity to deepen our understanding, broaden our horizons, and inspire action. In conclusion, let us remember that the choices we make today will shape the world we leave behind for future generations. We have a responsibility to be custodians of our planet and stewards of its resources. Together, let us harness the power of conventional renewable energy sources and address climate change from a holistic perspective. Thank you, and may this seminar be a stepping stone towards a sustainable and resilient future. Thank you.
I now request Dr. A.K. Chatterjee to come up on the dais for the welcome address.
At the outset, I welcome the August gathering and respected dignitaries on the dais, Ms. Sushma Rawat, Mr. Ghanshyam Sharma, Dr. S. Raju, Dr. Rasik Ravindra. I extend a very hearty welcome on behalf of the Gondwana Geological Society to the dignitaries on the dais and to Professor N.K. Mobe, my guide who has come. Mr. Pandre, who is also my ex-colleague, ex-director GSI, who has come, who has taken all the trouble despite his ailments. Then Dr. U.L. Pitle also, very much happy, all of us are very much happy to see him here. He is our ex-president, Gondwana Geological Society. and Mrs. Kale, I don't know whether she has come, widow of Mr. Professor Kale, H.S. Kale, and all the delegates, guests, our advertisers, co-sponsors, press corps, and the well-wishers in the audience. A few lines about the Gondwana Geological Society. It was established in 1980-81 and it was conceptualized by the tireless efforts of the founders. One of the founders is here, Professor Mobe, and others who are not, who has left us for eternally. Professor G.G. Deshpande, Professor Y.G. Dekate, Professor P.H. Kulkarni, they are no more, and Professor Mobe, he was in the team of the earliest founders. He was the first vice president, founder vice president of this society, and they had the vision and commitment to foresee the fact that Nagpur is the hub center for geoscientific activities. As the founders rightly thought, several earth science institutes and departments are based here, and the Geological Society located at Nagpur, centrally located, would act as a catalyst for propelling earth science research activities. And at the same time, it will be beneficial for the researchers, the students of the geology department, academicians and scientists alike. So it was a very well thought of move, which has grown into a society that is around, I think, 40 to 43 years old today. And next, coming to the seminar, the 2-day seminar is deliberating on the energy scenario and the climate change. So this is a very burning topic everywhere, almost every media. There is, if we listen for some time, there is a coverage either of climate change or for the regarding the energy scenario. These are burning topics. Now coming to the Indian scene, cities are the heart of India's low carbon future. Our cities contribute 70% to India's GDP. 10 of the world's fastest growing cities are located in India. Today, India has 83% of the rail network of 52,000 kilometers, which is electrified, and the entire German rail network is 40,000 square kilometers. So we have 52,000 kilometers of rail networks electrified, which has eliminated the use of fossil fuels like coal and diesel for running locomotives. Next is, as on date, South Africa, India and China remain the largest users of coal. South Africa consumes 71%, then India 57% and China 55% of its energy needs are met through coal. That is unavoidable because in this, with the economic scene and being a developing country, we will have to gradually bid goodbye to coal. We cannot all of a sudden say goodbye to coal and remove it from our list of fuels. Then next is, India has set a net zero target for greenhouse gases emissions, zero emissions by 2070. So then this is a very idealistic goal, and there will be a lot of hassles to meet the zero carbon emission goal by 2070, which has been committed in the COP27 summit at recently held in November at Egypt. So these are the some of the so many harsh decisions may have to be taken to reach the zero carbon emission norm. And another very optimistic statistics which I will quote: solar and wind energy drove the majority of 92% of India's electricity capacity in 2022. That is very solar and wind energy. This is a contribution of state of Rajasthan and Gujarat. 92% of India's electricity capacity was triggered by solar and wind energy, and this is the statistic released by the global think tank Ember, and it is an the good finding by Ember was that coal accounted only for 5% of the energy this addition in as a fuel in 2022. Wind and solar energy comprised 92% and coal was 5% only. So in the new what we mean to say, in the new scheme of things, coal and fossil fuels are slightly getting eliminated from the list of powering the our energy scenario. Then, as we all know, we will be discussing in the technical session also, global warming has resulted in a temperature rise of 1.5 to 2 degrees, and the base year is always considered as 1850 to 1900, which was the pre-industrialization era. So, as compared to that era, those 50 years, it has risen by 1.5 to 2 degrees, which is a very alarming thing. And most of the coastal India has a very huge coastline, so we should be very much worried about this global temperature rise, and especially so many countries like Netherlands in Europe, which is almost at the sea level. And lastly, I will say that ours is the first generation living in the reality of climate change, and adaptation is an urgent priority. The challenge is to accelerate our exit from carbon intensive industrialization. And lastly, I will wish every participant a very fruitful and educative 2-day seminar, which it is hoped will broaden our understanding of the energy scenario of the current times and the climate change that unabated and uncontrolled usage of fossil fuels have been triggering. We thank our co-sponsors, advertisers, donors, and the press that has been reporting our news since so many decades plus now. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful view on our global climate. Now I request Dr. Sandeep Roy to come up on the dais and introduce our chief guest, Dr. Rasik Ravindra.
Good morning, honorable guests on the dais, off the dais, Devi and Sajjano, my friends. It's a privilege to introduce Rasik sir. Actually, he needs no introduction in the polar arena. Nevertheless, I'll just read small introductory part of him. Dr. Rasik Ravindra is currently the chairman of the Society of Earth Scientists of India, the senior vice president of LIGHTS, and member of the research advisory committees of Wadia Institute of Himalayan Geology and NCPOR Goa. He held the position of director of NCPOR during 2006 to 2012, after relinquishing the post of Deputy Director General, Geological Survey of India, where he served for 35 years. He conducted various geological assignments spread over Rajasthan, northeastern India, Bhutan, Arctic and Antarctic. A veteran polar man, probably the Indian polar scene, there is, if one man, the legendary man standing is Rasik Ravindra sir, no doubt about it. A veteran polar man, he has participated in scientific expeditions to Western Himalaya, Bhutan, Arctic, Antarctic, leading the 9th Antarctic expedition in 1989-1991, the first Indian expedition to South Pole, and till now that is the only Indian expedition to South Pole. He was the leader of that, and the first Indian Arctic expedition as well. He oversaw the establishment of Bharti, and their efforts are there to see that is one of the state-of-the-art research station in Antarctica, probably one of the best in the world, and Himadri Research Station in Arctic, Norway. He chaired the Program Monitoring Committee on Dynamics of Himalayan Glaciers, DST and AFOPS. He held the chair Panikkar Professor at Minister for Sciences and was elected a member of the United Nations Commission on Limits of Continental Shelf for the year 2014 to 2017. He has been decorated with lots of awards and honors. Some of them are SCAR Medal for International Coordination, National Award for Polar Sciences and Cryosphere in 2013, National Mineral Award in 1990, Antarctic Award in 2002, H.N. Siddiqui Gold Medal from IGU in 2011, Lifetime Achievement Award from Paleontological Society of India, W.D. West Auditory Award 2018, and many amongst others. Thank you.
Now I give time to our guest of honor, Dr. Rasik Ravindra.
Good morning to all. Dr. Sushma Rawat ji, Chief Guest and Managing Director and Director ONGC, Shri Manoj Kumar ji from Western Coalfield Limited, Dr. Ghanshyam Sharma ji of MECL, Dr. Raju, GSI, my senior colleagues from GSI, IBM, MOES, Dr. Nigam, Dr. Pandre, Dr. Mohabe, and the galaxy of the scientists I can see in the audience. It's a great privilege and pleasure for me to be present among all of you. It's really an honor for me. I congratulate the Gondwana Science Society for arranging a very timely seminar on the climate perspective and the resources for the alternate energy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in spite of all the international scenario on the climate change, several agreements like Kyoto Protocol, Doha Agreement, Paris Agreement, forums like Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, then COP meetings, all these, in spite of all this, the seriousness of the climate change has not gone into the minds of so many countries. Even the leader like United States some years back, they were not convinced about the climate change. Knowing pretty well that the humanity or the anthropogenic reasons for climate change, we are introducing more than 50 billion tons of carbon dioxide every year into the atmosphere. Now the scenario is very, very scary, very alarming. What happens when all this carbon dioxide goes into the ocean? There is a limit to everything. Now the two lungs of the earth, one in the north and one in the south, the Arctic and the Antarctic, they practically absorb all the heat that we generate from the tropics. But up to what limit? Possibly a time will come when these two lungs of the earth will refuse to take any more CO2. And then what will be the changes? The thermohaline circulation that is governed by these two lungs of the earth, by thrusting the cold water deep into the warm water, because of the density it goes down. And then the thermohaline circulation that takes place governs the entire coupled system of atmosphere, earth and ocean. Now if this system is disturbed, possibly you can imagine what will happen to the climate system. You have already seen the extremes that we are suffering now. The last 4 decades, starting from 1980 to 2020, have been the most warmest decades in the entire history of the earth for the last more than 100 years. And recently I heard a report saying that the next year is going to be the still warmer. It is an IMD report which has been generated from Pune. And it says that because of the El Nino, which is taking place in the mid-Atlantic Ocean, we are going to have least winter rains, and because of that, the next summer is going to be very, very, very terrible for the entire mankind, mostly for India. And we in India are highly dependent upon this because our monsoons depend upon what happens in Arctic and Antarctic. We are going to have deliberations during the seminar on all these issues, and I am sure the policymakers, some of whom are here, they will take into cognizance all that which is being discussed here, and then some recommendations will be acted upon. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have only one earth, and its well-being is our problem. If we don't take care of our earth, nobody is going to take care of us. Thank you very much.
I request Dr. Sandeep Roy to come up on the dais to introduce our guest of honor, Shri Ghanshyam Sharma.
Privilege again, and another dignitary on the dais, very respectable Shri Ghanshyam Sharma ji, is chartered accountant having an experience of more than 33 years in finance, in the working of various PSUs engaged in the field of finance, engineering, telecommunication, power, the list is big one, consultancy, construction, mining, paper, etc. He has worked in different capacities in various public sector undertakings like Telecom Consultant India Limited, TCIL, Nuclear Power Corporation Limited, NPCIL, and Hindustan Newsprint Limited. He also has vast experience in project management of power and telecom projects. Besides, he has got exposure in the field of financing of projects, that is raising of funds through issues of bonds, term loans, cash, credit, from banks and suppliers, credit, etc. He is widely traveled. He has traveled all abroad, all across the globe, and served in India and abroad like kingdoms of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Afghanistan, besides special assignment with United Nations as well. Sri Ghansam Sharma ji has joined MECL on 27 February 2018. Prior to this, he was Director of Finance in Hindustan Newsprint Limited, HNL. He is currently holding the post of Director of Finance of Hindustan Copper Limited as well as CMD in charge of Mineral Exploration Corporation Limited. Thank you. I welcome Ghansam sir to come on the dais and address the gathering.
Thank you, Sandeep ji. Good morning to all. Chief guest of today's program, Madam Sushma Rawat, Director Exploration, ONGC. Shri Manoj Kumar, CMD WCL, of course he is not present at the moment. Dr. Rasik Ravindran, Dr. S. Raju, Mr. A.K. Chatterjee. Then of course eminent scientists and professionals present here. First of all, I would like to congratulate Gondwana Geological Society, Nagpur, for organizing such a nice seminar on the apt topic, that is conventional renewable energy sources and climate change perspective. And really it's a privilege to me to share my views on this occasion. As we know that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has set an ambitious target of making India a developed nation by 2047, as well as $5 trillion economy by 2025. And recently, during his visit to US also, he has stated that India would become third world's largest economy soon. And on the other side, with a population of more than 1.3 billion, India has massive demand for energy to fuel its rapid growth economy. So obviously, development has to take place. Demand of power is also there. Without that, nothing can take place. But the issues which have already been raised are also there. So as a developing nation, even though we have relied heavily on coal since our independence, but still we have to think for alternatives, because the coal contains a lot of ash. As far as India is concerned, it is in the range of 50 to 60%. On the other side, we have started hydel power projects. Subsequently, we have started our nuclear program also. And we have started generating nuclear energy. But there also few constraints are there. One, it is capital intensive. Second, long gestation period of execution of plants. Third, of course, safety aspects are also there. And nevertheless, the availability of nuclear fuel also has to be ensured. And for that also, there are many constraints. So that's why we have seen earlier also, and now again we are committed towards alternative energy sources for sustainable development. Maybe in the form of solar, wind, biogas, thermal, geothermal, etc. And as already stated by Mr. Chatterjee, to achieve the country's vision of net zero emission by 2070, India's power generation mix is rapidly shifting towards renewable energy sources. And for that also, we need to have raw material in the form of lithium, silicon, silver, copper, etc. So in fact, we need growth, we need development, and we have to maintain our environmental as well as natural resources also. As such, we need to strike a balance between development and climate change, development and mix of energy sources. Third, but not the least, development and cost effectiveness. Because if cost effectiveness will not be there, again we will not be in a position to sustain our growth. So these are the main aspects which I hope that would be dealt with during a period of 2 days seminar, and I am sure that many views would come up so that we can have new ideas to deal with the situation which already is being discussed at many forms and which really is an alarming one. Once again, my best wishes to the organization and participants, and wish a grand success to the seminar. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
I once again request Dr. Sandeep Roy to come up on the dais and introduce our guest of honor, Dr. S. Ravi.
Privileged to introduce our beloved former Director General, Dr. S. Raju. He was our ADG, Additional Director General in Mission 3 and Mission 4, and when he took over as DG GSI in the year 2022, 1st April 2022, and he superannuated just very recently. And he has been like a sort of a patron for the Gondwana Geological Society and academicians and the science as a whole. And privileged to read the small CV of, it's a big CV, but just a small introductory before calling him on dais. He hails from a small village near Tuticorin, Tamil Nadu, and he completed his graduation from Presidency College, Chennai. Thereafter, he was also awarded doctorate degree for his good geological work from University of Lucknow for his outstanding contribution in the field of petrology and geochemistry of the dikes of Bundelkhand crater. He has several research publications of national and international repute to his credit. Dr. S. Raju joined Geological Survey of India in 1988. During his initial period of his career, he was instrumental in mapping of the Bundelkhand Gneissic complex in Uttar Pradesh, and also executed investigations of gold mineralization and carried out geo-environmental appraisal of Jhansi district of the Bundelkhand region, Uttar Pradesh. With his expertise, he also supplemented in the geology of Tamil Nadu, especially in establishing the metamorphic and tectonometamorphic magmatic history of the Satyamangalam group of rocks. He also served as Deputy Director General in the State Unit of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry from 2015 to 2018. During his tenure, he expedited several mapping and mineral exploration projects of Tamil Nadu, and he has also given special emphasis on the development of geological monuments of Tamil Nadu, including the National Fossil Wood Park and also the National Geological Monuments of Charnokite at the famous St. Thomas Mount, Chennai. He has conceptualized and is instrumental in construction of new office-cum-laboratory complex with modern laboratory facilities in Chennai in the State Unit of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. With this, ladies and gentlemen, let's join our hand and welcome Dr. S. Raju for his address.
Dignitaries and delegates, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I am very happy to once again to visit the orange city of Nagpur to participate in the 2-day seminar on the important topics organized by Gondwana Geological Society in association with Geological Survey of India, ONGC, MECL, IBM, AMD and Nagpur, other universities. You all aware that the conventional source of energy like coal, oil, and natural gas play a significant role in power, transport, and industry sector that are the key to the overall development of our nation. Owing to their non-renewable nature, these resources are depleted day by day. We are working for enhancing the contribution of green energy, that is the renewable in nature and contribution in lowering the carbon emission. Today, the renewable energy like solar, wind, tidal, geothermal, idle, and now hydrogen. These are the energy, the future conventional energy for our nation, for the whole country. As a geologist, geoscientist of our country, we have to play a major role in accommodation of these energy resources for development of our, particularly our country. The theme of the today's seminar are focused to discuss on various topics that cover strategy of exploration of conventional and renewable energy sources. The seminar is also aimed to discuss on the various aspects related to their impact and the environment and mitigation and challenges. I hope the outcome of this seminar will bring fruitful results. I extend my best wishes to all the speakers and participants from various organizations and universities for the successful conduct of this seminar. हम सभी बात करते हैं, गर्मी बढ़ रहा है, एनवायरनमेंट खराब हो रहा है, मगर इतनी पॉपुलेशन इतनी ज़्यादा है इंडिया में, इतना सॉलिड वेस्ट जनरेट होता है, उसको बर्निंग करने में बहुत दिक्कत, नेचुरली CO2 एमिशन जरूर आएगा. I had been to Australia, and Australia visited lithium mines, that is a spodumene which they are extracting lithium. When I asked the minister why you are not processing the lithium in Australia, she told, we don't want to waste our environment. We don't want to create a nuisance for our environment. That's why we are selling to China. Korea, it's such a small country, South Korea, Busan, where the next International Geological Conference to be held. A small country, LOC in the other side, they have limited land, they have raised 110 floors, 120 floors. But you cannot find a small, even a piece of paper on the road. Because this is why I am saying, the people who lives in a country, that they have to take care of everything. I was there in Calcutta, people throwing a material from the 3rd floor to 4th floor on the road. How you can create such a kind of clean environment in our country? So it is, we have to educate the person, our children. Once we are educated, naturally we have to educate our children. The whole community, the whole country has to see this type of environment we have to create for our future children. Thank you everyone, thank you for coming. Wish you all the best for the today's seminar. Thank you.
I now request Ms. Monica Shukla to introduce our chief guest, Ms. Sushma Rawat.
Good morning, everyone. Madam Sushma Rawat is the Director Exploration of Oil and Natural Gas Corporation Limited, which is India's national oil company and among the world's leading E&P corporations, looking after the ONGC's exploration and development activities across entire country, including offshore basins. Ms. Rawat has more than 3 decades of rich experience in all aspects of petroleum exploration and development. She is the first woman to work in rigorous 14 days on-off shift pattern at a well site in ONGC and went on to become the first women to become director. Additionally, she had been in the board of OPAL, ONGC Petro Additional Limited, and OTPC, ONGC Tripura Power Company Limited as director. Currently, she holds the office of chairperson OTBL. Madam Sushma Rawat also looks after carbon management and sustainability group of ONGC and steering in its efforts to achieve the ambitious target of reaching the net zero by 2038 with respect Scope 1 and Scope 2 emissions. She was involved in GNG interpretation aspect of exploration of various basins of India. Under her leadership, basin scale 3D petroleum system modeling of 11 basins. Madam Rawat has a distinction of being an experienced and outstanding basin and petroleum system analyst as well as accomplished exploration process analyst and implementer. Madam Rawat as an integral part of Government of India initiative of appraising the unappraised basins of the country and bringing in new areas in exploration fold. Her work planning, monitoring, evaluation and benchmarking of R&D projects in an integrated national oil company at ASCI Hyderabad and process and parameters driver for furtherance of exploration investment presented at FIPPI R&D Conclave 2019 were widely acclaimed by the ENP fraternity. Under her leadership as Basin Manager, Assam and Assam Arakan Basin, Basin has inducted several new technologies in aerial and surface surveys for quick prospectivity evaluation in geologically complex and logistically difficult areas of Northeast. She has been instrumental in resolution of long pending issues of exploration in DAB areas between Assam and Nagaland. Madam Rawat has made many technical presentations in each and SEG conferences abroad. She is an avid geologist and has practiced and organized numerous geological field workshops. She received the prestigious LP Mathur Memorial AAPG EEF Global Award 2021 for her contribution in growth and consolidation of petroleum geochemistry in India. Now I would like to request Madam Sushma Rawat to kindly come on the dais. Thank you.
Namaskar and a very good morning to the dignitaries on the dais. Dr. Ravindran, Dr. Chatterjee, Mr. Ghanshyam Das and Dr. Raju, the eminent geologists and geoscientists who have contributed so much to the earth sciences, my revered seniors from ONGC, Dr. James Peters, Dr. Mahanti and Mr. Sudhir Shukla. I really feel privileged to be amongst you. And the name itself, when the invite came for ONGC to participate in this conference, more than the conference, the word which is attached to it, the Gondwana Geological Society, because I have been a geologist as a profession, but also worked in basins which have Gondwanas within them. And one of my areas where I spent a lot of time was Krishna Godavari Basin. And the basis of the oil and gas presence in that basin is from the Barakars. So, and of course, with additional or little interest in what I have in rift tectonics, I think the Gondwana Grabens always remained a fascination for me. I mean, it's about ONGC. I know I come from a very conventional oil and gas energy sector, but as of date, because of the involvement, because of the data that was generated in the quest for hydrocarbons, I think ONGC at the moment is the best suited company to exploit the renewables as well. So, what I would like to say is that in the in today's world, where we have been exploiting oil and gas for more than 1.5 centuries. 1869 was the first oil well in US, the Drake well, whereas in India in 1889 we struck oil in Digboy. Assam has been giving oil even now. It actually produces the Digboy field. And ONGC's existence into the oil and gas sector is more than 6 decades old. But the immense subsurface information that has come, we know there has been a lot of talk subsequent to the COP26 and COP27. We are also aware of our Honorable Prime Minister's promise to make India net zero by 2070. But if you look at the numbers of the oil and gas consumption which are in the country, it makes you think that you really have to work hard to make renewables an alternate source of energy other than oil and gas. As of last year, I think it was around 221 million tons of consumption in the country of oil and gas, of which, being a national oil company, we were only able to cater to about 1/5. The rest was all imported. So it has also given an impetus, trying to reduce the dependency of the energy requirement on foreign areas and foreign lands. You might be aware ONGC does have its foreign wing, what is called, or its separate company, the ONGC Videsh Limited, which sources the equity oil from different countries. We are there in 15 countries. Mostly it is equity oil, but we are also into exploration. Coming back to India, of the 26 sedimentary basins, our presence is in 19 basins, which are category 1, 2 and 3. I'll not dwell much upon that. But when you come to the renewables, and as I said, we are the ones who has a very strong presence in geosciences, right from the non-seismic world of remote sensing to gravity magnetic to geochemical prospecting, and thereafter we have got geological seismic surveys covering basin after basin and subsequent drilling of wells. I think the most data which we have, that is what we are going to use for the stepping into the world of renewables. On the surface, of course, everyone talks about solar and wind. And we have set up a vertical with the upcoming separate directorate in renewables, wherein the solar energy will be sought after. We already have 1 gigawatt capacity plant in Rajasthan. In the wind sector, we have taken information from the offshore, the LiDAR surveys, and the platforms, the offshore oil platforms, which will go into decommissioning, will become another source for wind energy in the offshore for us. So in the world of geothermal, that is where we have the maximum information coming from the temperature logs of the wells that have been drilled over the years. You might be aware ONGC already has drilled one pilot well in Ladakh in the Puga Valley, and at the moment we are in the process of assessing the geothermal gradient. Since I was a part of a team which was carrying out the petroleum system modeling and basin analysis, so we have a huge database of the geothermal gradients which are currently there in most sedimentary basins of India. So the geothermal energy, and we have also recently signed an MOU with the government of Iceland and a company I saw there. So I think in the future you'd be hearing more and more about geothermal energy from ONGC. I know there is a lot of talk about I mean, other than oil, coal is considered to be a sort of a bad fuel, but the current position of the developed world or the industrialization in the developed world, it was all sourced from coal. I know it might have caused a lot of damage to the environment, and a lot of nations, especially Europe, has gone into a rectification, and their aversion to coal as well as oil and gas is well understood. This particular conference talking about conventional, then the renewable energy sources and our climate change consciousness, I think it is in the right tone and at the right moment, with so many eminent people coming from various domains. But I know that the energy requirement of the country is to be catered to, but along with it, there has to be a very, very, what I would say, a very aggressive move towards the renewables. Again, referring to ONGC, I will talk about green hydrogen. We have signed MOU with companies, Greenco, and are also setting up plants for green hydrogen. Then there was a talk about waste. Recently, I had a meeting with Shell, and they are very keen because we have a small group which caters to the biofuel, the generation of biofuels and bioethanols. And with our collaboration with various academia, the universities and IITs, I'm really happy to share with you that last year we were able to obtain 4 patents in the field of biofuels, in which it is not specific to one particular kind of a biomass, but caters to every kind and addresses not only the cellulose but the hemicellulose part of it. So the conversion percentage is much higher, and it turns out to be cheaper. So these are the things also in when we talk about renewables, the question comes about the energy storage. So that idea has also taken ground in within ONGC, and through the hydropower we are getting into the PSPs, the pump storage mode. So these are the areas where we are just venturing into. In some places we have established, but I think the focus of ONGC towards renewables and the step it has taken in the last 2-3 years, they are going to be the ones which is going to bring in good carbon credits in the future. There was a mention about carbon management and sustainability group, which comes under the Exploration Directorate. And I'm very happy to share with you that we have worked out a way forward for the entire group of companies to be at least scope 1 and scope 2 net zero by 2038. It is a very humongous task given the operations that we have. They are very, very oil and gas centric. Even the rigs and the offshore platforms, they are all sustained by the use of either diesel or gas right now. But the conversion, once we get into solar and wind, I think the conversion is going to come faster. Then with this happening, the contribution towards climate sustenance, and there is also a talk of trying to use the knowledge of remote sensing. We have a very good division or a group of remote sensing within one of the institutes. We have around 10 R&D institutes catering to various aspects of exploration and production, and also a big institute for the safety and environment. So there are a number of projects which we have formed in the last year, which will be catering to this particular aspect. Once again, I think the deliberations for the 2 days which have been convened by the Gondwana Geological Society regarding its relation or the consciousness about the step from conventional to the renewable energy as well as climate change perspective. I think the deliberation will bring forth a lot of new ideas which can be taken up by various organizations or various institutes. On my part, I can say that anything which is worthwhile, worth working on, ONGC and especially the exploration group would be ready to take up some study or some collaborative project with the institute or any other company which can further the climate goals. So with that, I would like to thank the organizers for the invitation here, and thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you.
Now I request all the dignitaries on the dais to release the proceeding volume. I now request the dignitaries to release the Journal of Geosciences Research, which is a biennial volume of the Gondwana Geological Society, committed to release the regular volume on time. I once again request the dignitaries to release the souvenir. Today, the Gondwana Geological Society is facilitating the veteran GGS members who have immensely contributed in the overall development of the society, right from increasing the number of fellows to strengthening the financial aspect of the society by providing donations, etc. In this context, the GGS is pleased to facilitate few prominent members. To start with, I request Dr. P.B. Sarolkar to come up on the dais and facilitate Dr. U.L. Pitale with the citation.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this session where actually we are felicitating one of our very senior members who have been responsible for the 40 years journey of this Gondwana Geological Society. And first among them is Dr. Umakant Lakshmanrao Pitale. He was our president also. And I will read his citation. He has a lot of contribution to geology and geosciences, geothermal, and he is one of the persons who started his career with ONGC. So Dr. Umakant Lakshman Rao Pitale completed his post-graduation in 1963 from Nagpur University. He started his career with ONGC, later in IBM, and finally joined GSI. In 1974, he completed remote sensing diploma in ITC Amsterdam, that is actually MSc. He is credited with starting geothermal division in GSI Nagpur. In 1982, he completed geothermal resource technology, energy technology from Auckland University, New Zealand. His main contribution is exploration and resource assessment of hot springs in Tatapani, Madhya Pradesh and west coast of India, Maharashtra. He is one of the pioneer geothermal geologists in GSI, and he was actually explored almost all the hot springs of central India that which ultimately may be utilized in near future. He was founder member of Gondwana Geological Society and served as the president during 2002 to 2004. During his tenure, a seminar on Precambrians of Central India was successfully organized under his able guidance. The Gondwana Geological Society recognizes and felicitates Dr. U.L. Pitale for his human service to the nation and valuable contribution to the GGS. At this age of 82, 83 also, he is regularly and actively involved with science and Gondwana Geological Society. So on behalf of society, I felicitate him.
I would like to request Dr. Rasik Ravindra sir to felicitate Dr. U.L. Pitale sir.
Now I invite Dr. Yogesh Murkute to come up on the dais and read Dr. N.K. Mohobe with the citation.
I am here to present the citation of Professor N.K. Mohobe. He is my teacher, he is my guru. So I need not take his first name, but for citation I may tell that Professor Naval Kishore Mohobe completed his post-graduation in 1959 from Nagpur University, and thereafter he joined as a lecturer in the Department of Geology, Nagpur University, Nagpur. Subsequently, he completed his PhD in 1977. As a faculty member, he was extremely well read and taught his subject to his pupils, and he has a focused approach with exceptional appreciation. His down-to-earth personality and simplicity was well appreciated by his colleagues as well as the students also. Professor Mohobe has 38 years of postgraduate teaching experience. During his 38 years of human services, he has, to his credit, 35 research papers. He supervised 15 doctoral research students. His main areas of research were in the field of petrography, petrochemistry. He was head of the Department of Geology, Nagpur University, Nagpur for more than 7 years till the December 1997. He was among the founders of the Gondwana Geological Society in 1980, and its founder as a vice president, he credited the services. Professor Mohobe very successfully organized Golden Jubilee celebration of Geology Department of Nagpur University, Nagpur. I was the student and I was student representative at that time. The Gondwana Geological Society felicitates Professor N.K. Mohobe for his very distinguished services to the nation building and for his valuable contribution to the Gondwana Geological Society, Nagpur. So, with the loud sound of clappings, I request the organizers to felicitate Professor Mohobe sir. So, let us clap. I request Sushma Madam to felicitate Professor Mohobe. Please.
Samaya Humne to come up on the dais and read the citation of late Dr. H.S. Kade, sir.
Dr. H.S. Kade, sir, actually he leave us before 1 year. Dr. Haribau Kade was born on 28 August 1966 at Janora village, Balapur Taluka district, Akola. He completed his Bachelor of Science with Geology as one subject from Amravati University in the year 1989. Later on completed MSc Geology in 1991 and MSc Tech Applied Geology in 1992 with Mineral Exploration as specialization from Vikram University, Ujjain. He then pursued his passion for research by enrolling for doctoral work on ore mineralogy, geochemistry and genesis of a part of Dalli Rajara iron ore belt, Durg district, MP, and getting awarded it in the year 1998 from Vikram University, Ujjain. He worked as NET JRF from 1993 to 1995 and NET SRF from 1995 to 1996. His life was never easy and full of hurdles. He was appointed as lecturer in postgraduate Department of Geology, Rashan Tukroji Maharaj Nagpur University, Nagpur in 2003. From 2003 onwards, he devoted himself in teaching, research and also to the service of mankind. In 2006, he edited one book entitled Modeling of Indian Mineral Deposits Part 1, Volume 3, along with K.L. Rai and R.M. Umate, published by South Asian Association of Economic Geologists. He is having 20 research papers published in various national and international journals of good repute. He was life member of SAEG Raipur, Gondwana Geological Society, Geological Society of India and Indian Geological Congress, Roorkee. He was not only life member of Gondwana Geological Society, Nagpur, but was also a part of its executive council as a treasurer in 2015-17 and then as secretary in year 2018. Along with academics, he excelled in work related to examinations. Dr. H.S. Kade was not only a good academician and a researcher, but also a human being with golden heart. For him, service to mankind was his topmost priority. He used to worship the place where he served. He was next to God for few students to whom he helped financially in terms of paying their fees to contributing money for long and short tour. He gifted laptops to 2 economically poor students so that the student shouldn't go through hardships which he faced while pursuing higher education. Dr. H.S. Kade suddenly passed on 14th April 2022 due to cardiac arrest on job. His love and care for students was visible at the cremation site, where number of students was more as compared to his relatives and colleagues. Dr. H.S. Kade lived a simple but magnificent life in his own way, making his place in heart of his students and teaching fraternity across Vidarbha. His dedication and devotion to his service is unparalleled. The Gondwana Geological Society salutes Dr. H.S. Kade for his service to mankind, for his valuable contribution to GGS. So I like to request Mrs. Kade Madam to come up on the dais and request Dr. S. Raju sir to felicitate Madam. Now moving ahead, I would like to invite Dr. Savita Chaurpagar to read the citation of Dr. A.G. Bhusari sir.
It's like blessing to read the citation of one of my teacher and very humble person, Dr. Arvind Gangadhar Bhusari. Dr. Arvind Gangadhar Bhusari completed his MSc Geology, Nagpur University, PhD from Moscow University, Russia. Retired from NUGD in 1996 as professor. He is well known as a very intelligent student, having unassuming memory, and a sincere, dedicated and devoted teacher. He excelled in petroleum geology and sedimentary petrology. A founder council member of Gondwana Geological Society, he contributed to great extent as a dedicated honorary treasurer of GGS for many years. The Gondwana Geological Society felicitates Dr. Arvind G. Bhusari for his very distinguished services to the nation building and for his valuable contribution to GGS. Though he is not present, I am requesting all of you to give a big round of applause for acknowledging his contribution to the fraternity. Thank you very much.
I invite Dr. P.B. Sarolkar sir to read citation of Dr. P.M. Tapasvi.
Tapasvi, Professor Prakash Madhusudan Tapasvi. Professor Prakash Madhusudan Tapasvi completed his post-graduation as well as doctorate from Pune University. After an illustrious career as a professor in geology in Nagpur University, he superannuated in 2006. During his stint as a faculty, he taught interesting subjects like stratigraphy, paleontology, and sedimentary petrology. And as the saying goes, he was immensely successful in generating interest in the topics among the students. He was one of the founder council member of the Gondwana Geological Society, where he dedicatedly served in various capacities as joint secretary, and president. His dream was to catapult the society, Gondwana Geological Society, as a leading earth science society of the country. The society felicitates Professor Tapasvi, PM Tapasvi, for his very distinguished service to the nation building and for his valuable contribution to the GGS. Actually, for many years, he single-handedly promoted the society. He was secretary, he was joint secretary, and the society was mostly dependent on his services. Presently, he is in USA, and from USA also he has been guiding us continuously. So on behalf of Gondwana Geological Society, we felicitate him for his contribution to the nation building and his valuable contribution to the GGS and his constant support and guidance to the Gondwana Geological Society. So I request everybody to give a big applause to the Dr. P.M. Tapasvi.
I'd like to invite Professor Sumed Humne to read citation of Dr. P. Kundal.
I am standing here to read the citation of Professor P. Kundal. Professor Pradeep Padma Singh Kundal. He obtained his MSc degree in geology from Vikram University, Ujjain in 1983. He did his PhD from University of Pune in 1988. Professor Kundal is an outstanding academician, teacher, researcher and administrator. Professor Kundal successfully guided several PhD students. He has published over 100 research papers, including peer-reviewed research papers in international and national journals. He has edited several volumes. Professor Kundal possesses over 32 years of teaching experience and over 39 years of research experience and over 16 years of administrative experience. Professor Kundal worked as HOD, PG Department of Geology, Rashtra Sant Tukadoji Maharaj, Nagpur University for 10 years. His specialization includes paleontology, micropaleontology, stratigraphy. He treats all students and faculties equally with due respect and morality. He never forgets to praise anyone for their achievements and accomplishments. He brought generous funds to Department of Geology, RTMNU, through various departmental projects like UGC, SAP, DRS, DST, FIST. He has successfully organized 15 international, national seminar and workshops. He has attended several national and international conferences throughout his career. Professor Kundal has international exposure through participation in seminars, as he has presented research papers and chaired scientific sessions at Okinawa, Japan in 2015, Cluj, Napoca, Romania in 2011, Granada, Spain in 2003. Professor Kundal worked as Vice President of Indian Geological Congress, Roorkee, from 2010 to 2011. He is closely associated with Gondwana Geological Society, Nagpur, where he served the society in capacity of President as well as Vice President. The GGS remembers his immense contribution to its cause in terms of adding new members or in organizing various seminars, symposia, conferences from its platform. The GGS felicitates Professor Kundal for his distinguished services rendered to nation and invaluable contribution to the Gondwana Geological Society. Today he is not present here due to his some urgent meeting outside Nagpur. So on behalf of Gondwana Geological Society, I request Professor Dr. Sarorkar Sahab to kindly accept his felicitation and citation, sorry. I request Dr. Raju Sahab to kindly present the citation. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So we have near to end of this inaugural function. So I'd like to invite Shri Milind Dhakate sir, Organizing Secretary, to propose vote of thanks.
A very good morning, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, and participants. I feel honored that on behalf of Gondwana Geological Society and Geological Survey of India, that I have been asked to present vote of thanks for this inaugural session of 2 days seminar on energy and climate change perspective. On behalf of GGS and GSI, first and foremost, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our esteemed chief guest, Mrs. Sushma Rawat, Director Exploration, ONGC, for accepting our invitation and make herself present and providing financial aid for this energy seminar. I would like to express our sincere appreciation to our esteemed guest of honor, Dr. S. Raju, former Director General GSI, for his continuous encouragement and to make this event happen, for providing grant for this seminar. I met him in the month of February at Delhi in some meeting. So that time I informed him about the event. So readily he has granted the financial aid, and thank you very much, sir, for that. Then I would like to express our sincere thanks to Shri Janardhan Prasad, Present Director General GSI, for his support and providing generous grant and giving opportunity to all our GSI geoscientists to present their work in this seminar. I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our esteemed guest of honor, Dr. Rasik Ravindra, former Commissioner of CLCS Commission on Limits of the Continental Shelf for gracing this event in spite of his busy schedule, and he has enlightened us about the El Nino effect presently in Atlantic Ocean, and we'll be expecting hotter summer in India because of this effect. I would like to express our sincere appreciation to CMD WCL, Shri Manoj Kumar sir is not here, but we would like to express our thanks for his encouragement and financial aid provided. I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our esteemed guest of honor, Shri Ghanshyam Sharma sir, CMD MECL, for his presence here in spite of his busy schedule. So many dignitaries are there amongst us. Dr. Kalamkar, ex-director, TGM Maharashtra, he has helped us in guiding, and then he has I've seen attending several meetings for preparation of this seminar. So he has guided us. We are thankful to him. We are having Dr. J.C. Jhanwar, scientist in charge, SIMFR, Dr. U.L. Pitale, who are the founder members of our Gondwana Geological Society, and he is the pioneer worker in geothermal studies. Dr. N.K. Mohobe, when I was learning geology, he was my HOD, and he has taught us geology. And we are remembering Dr. H.S. Kale on this occasion for his immense contribution towards the Gondwana Geological Society. I would also like to extend our gratitude to all the participants who are attending this seminar. A special thanks goes to our organizing committee and volunteers who are working tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure the smooth running of this seminar. Reception committee, accommodation and transport committee, finance committee, hall management committee, editorial committee, souvenir committee, purchase committee, press and publicity, registration committee, stage and inauguration committee, then scientific sessions committee, and we are having judges for best presentations, then hotel management of Tuli Imperial, and our publishers, Aishwarya Graphics, for timely publishing our volumes. Furthermore, we would like to acknowledge the efforts of our entire event management team, including the technical staff, event coordinators, and support personnel. Their support and dedication and commitment will ensure this event a grand success. We would also like to express our gratitude to our sponsors, co-sponsors and partners who have generously supported this seminar. Special thanks to Geological Survey of India, Mineral Exploration Corporation Limited, Science and Engineering Research Board, that is SERB, Oil and Natural Gas Commission ONGC, Coal India Limited, NGRI National Geophysical Research Institute, Atomic Minerals Directors AMD, and then Lloyd Steel Limited, and there are so many contributors. All your financial contributions, resources and expertise have played a crucial role in making this event possible. We truly appreciate your support. Last but not the least, I would like to extend a special thanks to all the attendees and participants who have traveled from all corners of the country, and they have joined us today. And your presence has enriched this event and created a vibrant atmosphere. We hope that the knowledge gained from this seminar will have a long-lasting impact on your personal and professional lives. Thanks all once again and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Dhakate sir, Director GSI. Now I'd like to invite all the participants, delegates, dignitaries for high tea.